Hello, and welcome back to part 3 of my video series, Learning to Paint for the Faint of Heart. I'm Mary Helm, and I'm here to take you down the last leg of our journey together as we complete our creation of the mystical beetle. I hope you've been enjoying this painting session and that you'll join me for more. If you want to get together for a creative session together, one-on-one or in a small group over Zoom, please feel free to direct message me or send me an email at artandsoulconnect@yahoo.ca. All right, well, let's get grounded. We'll relax. We'll connect to our soulful side, and then we'll create. So take a few deep cleansing breaths. Connect to your breath as it enters your body and release. One more time, deep breath in. And if you're comfortable to do so, I invite you to close your eyes and envision your favorite place to spend time at. Someplace where you feel safe. Someplace where you can relax. Someplace near nature. Feel the pull of the ground beneath you. The welcoming tug of Mother Earth. Sunshine on your face. Look around where you're at. You'll notice there's a pathway off to your right. Join me as we walk down this path together, one step at a time. Feel the soft earth under your feet. You look around and you can see a garden wall off to your right. It's beautiful. You've seen it before. You're familiar with it now. And you know that just down the way there's a gate, one you've designed. And when you reach the gate, it swings silently open and welcomes you to enter the garden on the other side. You go through the now familiar gateway, and you remember this place, but it's looking brighter and more lush than it ever has before. You can feel the sun on your face. You can hear the sounds of nature, the singing of birds, the singing of crickets, the sound of the water as it trickles along, the sight of the sunlight dancing off the creek, beauty of the ripples as it moves against the stone. And again you see the bridge up ahead, and you walk towards it. And this time as you come to the bridge, you feel compelled to walk across. You step lightly onto the bridge. As you get to the center, you look down before and you can see your reflection in the clear water. And you move forward to the other side of the bridge. And when you get there, it's a welcoming, warm sight, something familiar, but different from what you've left. It's a forest. There are dark shadows here, but they create contrast. You get a sense of adventure and home. And you see the sunlight coming down through the leaves, creating shadows of light and dark on the ground. It seems to dance forward as the wind moves the leaves. And you see a spot that looks comfortable and you decide to sit, taking the aroma of the fresh pine and the balsam. Off in the distance you see a deer. It stops and it looks back at you. you decide just to revel in the moment. So take this time to journey in your own thoughts for just a minute. You hear the crunch of leaves on the ground, and you realize that the deer had walked over. The deer's brought you something and left it at your feet. You look down, cross, and you pick it up and you place it in your hand. You look at it, you take in its beauty. And you can't wait to share this precious gift with the rest of the world. For now, it's time to leave this forest, cross over the bridge again, walk through the garden gate with your gift in your hand. Stop and you look back, and you feel gratitude to the garden, to the forest, to the deer. And you know it's time to move forward. Take a deep cleansing breath. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Well, I hope you enjoyed our little trip to the forest together. And now that we've connected, what do you say we meet over at the canvas and we'll create? Welcome back to the canvas. I've gone ahead and painted 3 of the legs of my beetle, and I used the same palette that I used for the body: phthalo blue, phthalo green, purple, and a little white. I put some purple on the outside of his leg towards the black line, and then I just rubbed a little blue further in towards the center and a touch of white on top for a highlight. I'll go back in and finish the other 2 legs. For the front leg, I'm going to use a little bit of phthalo green on my brush, taking care not to put too much, and then I'll rub in a little bit of the purple around the outside of that towards the edge. Remember, you want to be able to see a lot of these beautiful colors and textures and layers that are underneath your beetle. And I'll do the same with the second leg. Purple towards the outside portion of the leg. And just rub that in. And I'll go back with a little bit of a lighter tone, a little phthalo blue and white. And just put that down on the canvas in a moment. Give it some character, a little highlight. And there we go. And I'll go back and highlight the legs. Just adding white on top, just a little bit. Don't worry too much about where it goes. Usually the highest part of the shell is where the light reflects the brightest. So just stick to the center, put it on with your fingers if you like. Just rub it in, add some really cool textures. Whatever is pleasing to you. Then I'm going to go back and highlight the outside of the shell. I find it just loses definition towards the red, so I'll put some white against the black line for contrast and blend it into the background. And I feel like the rest of the shell could do with a little popping out effect. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'll just follow around the outside of that black line, blend the white into the background a little bit, and continue. contrast really makes things stand out and creates a memorable image. Now we'll go back in and do that third eye. I'm doing it on the shell above the pituitary gland, but you can put it right in the pituitary gland, the little V shape there. So draw it in with a paint marker and then fill the inside in with white. And while we're waiting for the white paint to dry, we'll pick up the black paint marker again. We can go over the outside lines and we'll add some texture just by adding some curvy lines to represent the hair. I think those pick up vibrations for the beetle. And we'll follow back down on the other side of the leg. And I'll just add a little bit to the feet. And go back in and do it again to the rest of the legs. Just keep your lines loose and flowing. And if you make them too big, go back and fill them in. If you find you want to make any of your black outlines stand out a little more, make them darker or clearer, go over them with the paint marker. And then we'll go back in, put a pupil in the eye, outline it again with the black marker, and make some curls up for the eyelashes. You could Google online an image for a third eye and just follow that shape, copy it out. Or paint an eye that you just find pleasing. Now I'm going to go back in. I want to add some orange to the background here. I just find there's not really a balance. So I don't care about how much is going to blend or cover. I'm just going to add a wash. So I've taken the orange and I've added some water to it to thin it out. And I'm just using a little bit on my brush here. I'll put it down around the beetle. It's just a thin orange. It's not going to cover opaquely. So don't worry about bumping into the black lines you already have there. Just put it in if you decide you'd like to go in and do another wash on your background, like I'm doing here. And then I think I'd like to add some red afterwards over to the right side of the head, just to balance out that lovely red that's on the left side of its head. And at any time you need to clean your brush, just rub it on the outside of your canvas. It gives it a nice finish along the outside edges. I usually paint them at the end. And I'm just going back in here to add some more highlighted lines outside of the shell of the beetle. And there we have it. We're almost done. I've added a few vibrational lines as well if you look closer to the right side. I'll often do that on a painting, just to represent the energy. And now I think I need a little more highlighting on that area that I just changed the color of. So I'm going to go back in with some white. And again, bleeding it out or blending it into the background. And that's it. Thank you for joining me. And please do, if you want to see some more videos, click on to subscribe or follow me on Facebook at Art and Soul Connect.